My name's Naomi, and I have a question about, it's more of a personal question, but it may, the answers serve people in this room and others outside of here. I've worked on myself for many, many years, and lifting lots of veils, lots of conditioning, lots of walls I built around myself. And I feel like I'm at the point where I've done a lot of work in my heart center, but I have to always come back to it. I think I might have left the hardest part to last, or not, well, not last, but for me to ascend from where I'm at right now. So I would like to know any messages or guidance that will assist me in really awakening that center for good, so I can rise towards freedom.
Well, first of all, rising to freedom simply doesn't exist. The word rising to implies that you are working towards something, whereas what you are looking for is already right there within you. The center of your being as a physical being is the heart center, yes? Many of you realize this? This is why it is considered the center chakra. It is why the word love is associated with the heart. And many of you will start from the outside and you will work in. In other words, you'll start from the farthest away from the center and work towards the center, because this is a sort of, let's say, natural defense mechanism of the human being. And there is nothing wrong with that. It doesn't matter what order you go in. This is linear for you, but is non-linear from a non-physical perspective. The heart-based center is the strongest center of the human being. It emits the strongest vibration to the universe at large, to your planet, to your fellow human beings, to your animal friends, to the plant kingdom. This is essentially another language. It is the language that at some point down the road will become your primary language as a species. Right now, words are there because the capacity to live from this vibration alone and to communicate telepathically, let's say, through the vibration of the heart, just isn't quite there yet. But this is something that the human being species is striving toward. It is one of the agendas, let's say, on the master plan, if you were to call it that. So you speak as though what you're looking for is far, far away, yes? You don't feel this necessarily, but it is how you are expressing it. You are expressing it as though you've been working towards it your whole life, whereas really it has been there the whole time.
I am aware of that. I just have other layers apparently still that I have to break through to feel and utilize that energy to my full potential.
Yes, and we realize that. And we're picking on you slightly in the sense that we're trying to point out the subtleties in your language that then translate into the subtlety of your vibration. So by beginning to understand more clearly how your language is setting you apart from what it is that you're striving for inward, that language is keeping you at a distance. So one of our recommendations is to start paying closer attention to how you're thinking and how you're formulating that into a sentence structure, and understanding that just simply the idea of needing to or having to will already set you back a couple steps how you would see it. The need to, the feeling that you have to, falls in suit with the idea of supposed to. Is this making sense?
Absolutely, yeah. I do have, that's one of my things that I know a lot of deep wisdom, but I can't voice things properly sometimes.
Here's another example. I can't. Yes?
Yep.
Even if you really feel as though you can't, remind yourself that you can. Do you not agree that you're a pure potential?
Absolutely. And maybe that power needs to come a little more through my words.
Let's try this. It is flowing through me as I speak. I am beginning to understand more clearly that my heart is opening in such a way that all that I desire for this planet and myself individually is flowing to me right now as we speak. I am learning to express myself more clearly. I'm in the process of expressing myself more clearly. I am in the process of refining my language because I understand that there is an energetic vibration that correlates with my language, and the energetic vibration that correlates with the subtleties in my language is exactly what I need to catapult myself forward in a more desirable direction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The idea of language is so important as a human being, yes? Is it not really the nemesis of many of the problems on the earth, is the lack of communication between individuals? It's in the subtleties of the words and understanding that each word and the way they're strung together carries with it a certain energetic vibration. The word can't has a stopping effect, no? Have to. How do you feel when somebody says have to? A clenching, a tightening, yes? As opposed to, I would suggest, I would recommend, something to think about, I invite you. If someone were to turn to you, Naomi, and say, you have to start opening your heart, what would your heart do? It would constrict. Yes? So you're talking to yourself in this way. You're teetering on the teeter-totter, yes? You feel
Pendulum swing.
and then you swing. And then you feel it, and then it's gone. And then you feel it, and it's gone. Yes? That is part of being a human being to a certain degree at this time in your evolution as a species. At this time in your own personal evolution. We would suggest to all of you to start paying attention and to start refining your inner dialogue and to perhaps have a partner in that, yes? Somebody that you trust, somebody that you spend time with, somebody that is willing and open to gently remind you in those circumstances, in those instances of your language that may be debilitating, that may be not congruent with the idea of expansion and growth. Make a list intuitively. What words do you feel hold you back, create tightness, create the feeling of crawling into a ball? And what words enable you to feel expanded and at ease and in a state of flow? Words hold a lot of power because not so much the word itself, but the feelings associated with those words. They're a guidance system for you. They're a tool, and they are, to be honest, one of the most powerful tools that you have to work with. You will start recognizing this in your conversations with other people. We encourage you to not allow the, let's say, not so cohesive conversations coming from someone else towards you to impede your own desire to refine your own language. Does this make sense? So in other words, sometimes when you're working with your own dialogue, you may find yourself in a conversation that seems as though you're speaking a completely different language. Yes? Because the other person you're conversing with just doesn't quite understand what it is that you're working on internally. But simply by them experiencing your language, your dialogue, will slowly begin to turn the tables in their dialogue. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes.